Okay, so working from star map of what was over the Atlantic on April 15th, 14th, 1912. I took my jeweler's drill and my Dremel and I duplicated the star map in the backdrop of my Titanic cabinet. So now the stars should be pretty accurate to what was over the ship in April of 1912. Because I don't know if any of you remember, but this was a big deal with the Titanic movie. Some astronomer guy was upset that the stars were all CGI and nonsense. So in the reissue, Cameron went back and made sure that he did it right, so that the constellations and everything were correct. It's just funny, but it's another added detail to my cabinet. Okay, the star holes are all drilled and the backdrop's painted. I got inspired and I did some water too. I used this really pretty pearlescent metallic dark blue for the water level, and then I went over and kind of did some white highlights, dry brushed some of the eddies and contours of the water. It's going to look really good behind the model, especially with the stars glowing. Oh, and then I fogged the horizon line. I masked it off and misted white so it kind of fades into the sky. That should be good. Okay, I'm mapping out where I'm going to drill my holes for all the mounting screws. And I also kind of laid out where the gold accent line will go, right through the middle of the screws if everything goes well. I also made the line where I want the black border to be. So on the reverse side, I'll peel back the lining and mask it neatly with masking tape, and then I can lay out the gold and the black. So now I'm going to take the Dremel with our little ball and I'm just going to poke the holes for the screws. I like the Dremel ball because unlike a drill, it's not likely to crack the plexi. Kind of just melts its way through. It's got a little louvered edge. Well, gee darn, the Dremel ball is too small. The holes it made won't allow the screw through, so I am going to have to go back through with a drill bit and open all those holes up a little bit just to allow our screw to go through. So it's not always it's not necessary when you've got such thick wood as this, but it's still a good practice to pre-drill the holes for the screws so that you just don't put any undue stress on the wood. You don't make it want to split. So you get a drill bit that's smaller than the screw that you're going to be putting into the wood, and we'll just go down in the depth of the screw through the plexi. We'll imagine how deep that is. We could put a piece of tape and indicate it so we don't go any further. And we'll just kiss all these with the drill bit so that we've got pre-made holes that the screw can bite into. So here it is in the box with the stars. It's pretty fun. Unfortunately, you can't see the nice water mural because the model kind of blocks it. So I may duplicate it on the inside of the glass right at the water level so that it looks like water is filling the bottom half of the box. I really like the stars, and what's fun is they're accurate. That's the actual star map from 1912 April when the ship sank. So for all you astronomers out there who are obsessed, you'll be happy that my little diorama box has an accurate sky. I didn't just poke holes randomly. I looked at the star chart and tried to mimic what I saw. So it's kind of fun. This is fun. I'm really glad I did this. This is beautiful. Okay, it's finished. Yeah, it's in its box. The glass is on. I did the mural of the ocean here on the inside of the glass. I even gave it a little sea spray at the top of it, right at the water line, like it's cutting through the water and kicking up mist. And the stars are going. I'm going to go turn the light off so you can really see those. But this is it pretty much. And the neat thing is this box that I made for it, that's tied to my father too. Because, you know, I made the model back in '92 when he was dying of cancer. Well, this wood came from my parents' waterbed from the '70s, and my dad made it. So he had already worked with this wood and chosen this wood to be his waterbed. And my mom doesn't need a waterbed anymore, hasn't had a waterbed for years. So she had me take all that wood away about 2 years ago, and I've just been storing it and building all kinds of things out of it. But it's neat that this is a crowning way to seal up the model from dust and protect it, and yet also tie it back to my father. So that's kind of neat. Hang on, I'll turn the light off and you can see how cool it is. So to light up the stars, I had made another sign back here for a play I was in years ago, It's a Wonderful Life, and it was martinis on one side and Nick's bar on the other. But anyway, I just took off that plate, Martini's plate, and it lights up the stars on my Titanic box, which is in front of it now. I mean, on the back side, probably still lighting up Nick's, but anyway, I think this is pretty fun. And those are the real star patterns that were over the Titanic in 1912 out in the Atlantic. I followed a star map. That's pretty cool. I love these LEDs. Yeah, that's fun. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the whole project. It's nice to see it finished. Tomorrow I'll go to the award shop and get a little Titanic brass plate for the outside of the box. But that's pretty minor. I don't think you'll need to see that, or who cares about that. Oh, it looks like the stars are twinkling. That's weird. Oh, because the funnels are in the way. It makes them look like they're blinking. Have a good night.